My precious gift, complete with ribbon and a bow. The bow was nothing impressive to look at, but I was told it was important, so I protected that bow. Silly, I know, and no one else seemed to know the value in my bow, but just having it made me feel special. Unique little girl that I was, I thought it completed me. And maybe that was the first lie, I believe, because when I lost it, it devastated me. And maybe I shouldn't say lost because I had no choice. It was taken from me. But the first lie led to the second lie, and I believed it was all my fault. My job was to protect my bow, and I failed. I made bad choices. I allowed the fear to paralyze me. I was scared, I was alone, but I felt I should have done more. My precious gift, it's lost its specialness, and now I was just left with what was worthless. It could no longer do anything for me. It didn't make me feel special no more. What was the point? What was the point of the box and ribbon? My body and my decision to wait until I was married. I was told that the bow, my virginity, what was considered purity, was what was most important. Throwing the ribbon and box into the dark meant burying the experience and never letting myself process my trauma. It meant I didn't have to deal with the fact that I was raped. I told myself that it no longer made sense to try and abstain. I was told that your virginity was a gift to your future husband, and I no longer had anything left of value fit for my future king. So what did it matter? I still wanted to be loved, but who would love me now? I was damaged that night in the car of a man whose name I don't even remember. Unable to move, I was terrified of what would come next. He wasn't fazed by the sound of my nose, by me pushing his hands off me repetitively, by me squeezing my legs as tight as I could so that he couldn't gain access to my body. He acted as if my body was his right. The more I tried to resist, the more forceful he became, as if it was a game to him. As if the amount of strength it took to subdue me was a turn on to him. It was so long ago, but I remember walking home earlier that night when my phone rang, seeing it was him and knowing I shouldn't answer it. But I really didn't want to go home. And so you see, I felt that by answering the phone anyway, I gave up the right to blame anyone but me. Real talk, it was easier to forgive him than it was to forgive me. I felt ashamed. My silence held me hostage. It's not like I didn't try to tell someone once. He said that I used to be someone special, but now there could be no future for us. And maybe that was a third lie I believed, that no one would want me for keeps, that I had lost my value. I was told that I let it happen, that I put myself in that position. All I kept hearing was that it was all my fault. I may have survived, but I don't think I ever really recovered. Especially not when it was the first of too many people showing me too many times that my voice didn't matter. The fourth lie was that my voice held no power, that my body was created to scratch their itch. Prior abuse had scarred me, but sexual abuse changed me. The lies kept coming, and the fifth was that abuse was the closest I'd ever get to love. The definition of pain had become synonymous to love. So how could I trust love when it had been so repetitively ugly to me? Maybe I deserved it. Maybe I was totally worthless. My self-esteem was gone. I didn't even see a purpose. I kept believing all the lies because all their voices drowned out all my cries. How come no one ever told me that my value wasn't tied to my hymen? Not one person told me that it wasn't my fault. How come no one ever told me that what I had to give was more precious than a price tag wrapped between my legs? I wish that someone would have told me that there was healing for my pain, that how I viewed myself was wrong, that I was still fit for a king. Year after year, the pain was more than I could bear. And then my heart found him. He professed to love me, and this time, I believed him. So I decided to let him in, to stand in the middle of my mess, to see me in all my brokenness. No filter, no disguise, just me, and just him. He speaks of his love for me, of how my tears pierce his heart. I speak of my pain of not knowing how to get rid of it or how to stand under the weight of it. He sits beside me and wraps his arms around me. I could literally feel his love covering me, like the warmest blanket on the coldest day, leaving no place for my shame to remain. As I explore the lies I've believed on this painful journey, his nearness gives me strength. His tenderness equips me for the things to come. His gentle breath upon me awakens new desires inside of me, the desire to be free. My gift was never my bow. It's always been what's on the inside that was precious, and that's why the lies were so vicious, because I lost sight of me. Rediscovering me is like letting go of who I was never meant to be. Healing for me is like resetting a broken bone so that it can finally mend properly. And deep down, I know that now there'll be no more of me stopping me, because my story doesn't end in defeat.